the smartest sports YouTuber, back with another video. And in this video, I'm going to talk about Tua Bum Tagovailoa. Because I see a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of Dolphins fans. By the way, the Dolphins have some of the worst fans. They're probably the most toxic people on Twitter. The way they just dick ride Tua when he's done nothing, he's done dog shit. Uh, it's just disgusting to see. And the fact that now they're trying to say that he's better than Joe Burrow, and that they're trying to make they're trying to say, oh, people didn't give Tua an excuse for his injury. What about Burrow? Hey, dumbasses. First of all, Burrow is in August, the beginning of August, the beginning of training camp. Okay, idiots? So he's about 8 months off an ACL injury in training camp, the beginning of it. So if you want to say if he's out there, he's 100%, because I saw that too. Hey, geniuses, the season doesn't start until over a month, okay? And if Joe Burrow gets benched twice this year like Tua, then we can have the same argument. But the fact is, Tua got benched twice last year. He's a bum. And guess what? And when I said Justin Herbert was overrated, he is overrated, but he's still better than Tua. These bum-ass Dolphin fans need to be stopped. When's the last time they've made the playoffs? When's the last time they've won a playoff game? And I know I'm a Bengals fan saying that, but at least the Bengals made the playoffs consistently from 2011 to 2015. The Dolphins have made the playoffs like, what, once in the last 20 years? Something like that? They've been the bottom feeders of the league. They've been one of the most irrelevant teams. No one cares about the Miami Dolphins. They're a sad sack of shit organization. They're a sad franchise. People are trying to hype them up. They had 10 wins last year. People want to point to Tua's win-loss record and say he's 6-3. Well, one of those games he got benched because he was playing like shit against the Raiders. He had like 17 completions for 80-something yards against one of the worst defenses in the league, one of the worst secondaries in the league. And he couldn't do anything against the Raiders. So you want to bring up his win-loss record, that might have something to do with him having a top 5 defense. A defense that got the most turnovers in the league. A defense that was led by Xavier Howard, who had 10 interceptions. That might have something to do with his win-loss record. And Fitz bailing him out in the Raiders game. So realistically, you could say he was around 5-4. And look at his debut. He won in his first game, and he threw for 94 yards. He didn't have to do anything in that game. The defense scored a touchdown, the special teams scored a touchdown, and the defense got the ball to the 1-yard line again in that same game. So he did not have to do anything in that game. So they won in spite of Tua. I've been seeing that Brian Flores wanted Justin Herbert. Brian Flores did want Justin Herbert. So we already know that Brian Flores doesn't believe in Tua. And Brian Flores is a good coach. Tua's not a good quarterback. He's shown it last year. Guess what? In the biggest game last year against the Bills, and the Bills weren't even gonna. The Bills had some people out on defense, so against the second-string Bills defense for most of that game, Tua threw 3 interceptions, 1 touchdown. That 1 touchdown was at the very end of the game when the game was a blowout, and 3 interceptions, including a pick 6. So he single-handedly lost them that game against the Bills. He choked their playoff hopes away against the Bills. That's embarrassing. He lost to the Bills' backups. And you're trying to say he's better than Joe Burrow? He's somehow a franchise quarterback already? What are you talking about, Dolphins fans? Like, damn, the delusion in Miami is real. And people are getting excited because he's supposedly playing good in training camp. Hey, geniuses, it's training camp. Why don't you calm down a little? Xavier Howard's not even out there. So your best player on defense not even out there. There's no real pass rush, so you can calm down with that. And I just can't wait for Tua to get exposed this season. The Miami Dolphins are winning like 7-8 games, 9 at most. They're not making the playoffs. The Bengals will have a better record than them. Joe Burrow's obviously better than Tua. Joe Burrow had better stats in basically every statistical category last season. And if you want to say he did it in blowouts, no, he didn't. His worst games, Joe Burrow's worst games from last year, they scored the least amount of points in those games. He had his worst game in blowouts. So games that were close, he actually played good in because the Bengals went as he went because he was basically their whole offense. You can dive deeper into the stats. You can go to PFF. PFF had Joe Burrow much better than Tua. I saw some people showing a graph at Tua's time to throw was less than Joe Burrow's. Well, hey, geniuses, it's because he's dumping the ball down. when you get rid of the ball that quick, that lessens your time to throw, obviously. So Miami had a better O-line. That's not even in question, so don't try to make that argument. And Tua just did worse than Joe Burrow. Basically, every stat you could name, you could list off, Joe Burrow was better. And those are the facts. So the Dolphins fans crying about it, keep crying because your team sucks. Your team is garbage. And your team is garbage mainly because of your quarterback. Your quarterback's garbage. That means your team isn't going to do much, okay? They're not going to win 10 games again this year. They don't have Ryan Fitzpatrick to save Tua's butt. They don't have that. People in Miami want to act like Tua is this most hated player in the league, but actually, they did a Twitter study, and the most hated player in the league was Tom Brady. The most loved player in the league, the most loved player. So the most tweets that showed a player love was actually Tua Tagovailoa. So you can't even make that argument that, oh, everyone hates Tua. No, people on Twitter, people on social media suck Tua off. And if people are being objective, he's just not that guy. He's not that good. His arm talent isn't that good. His decision making's not that good. It just is what it is. He's a dump down king. I talked about Justin Herbert being a dump down king. Tua had a lower intended air yards than Justin Herbert. So Tua was dumping the ball down even more than Justin Herbert. And for any Dolphins fans disagreeing with this, I'll be willing to make bets because the pathetic franchise that you guys root for, the pathetic organization, the pathetic, sad sack shit of a fan base that you guys are. Pathetic. One of the worst fan bases in the league. And that's a fact. They need to move from Miami because you guys are probably bottom 3 fan bases. Absolute dog shit. You gave all this hype to Tua, and what did he do his rookie year? He shit the bed. What did he do? He choked away a chance at the playoffs. He had a top 5 defense, the best defense at creating turnovers, and he wasn't able to do shit with them. And now he has no excuses this year. They got his wide receiver, Jalen Waddle. They got Will Fuller. They're getting Devontae Parker back healthy. They got Albert Wilson back. They have enough on the O-line. So I don't want to hear any excuses. If Tua can't win with this team, he's a bum. Just like all you fans of the Dolphins, yes, the Dolphins, the pathetic organization, are bums. Don't ever compare Tua to Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's much better than that bum. Just don't get mad at me for saying the truth. The Miami shit fins are they're gonna be bums like they always are because of their quarterback. Their quarterback is the worst in the draft class. I wouldn't even be surprised if Jordan Love ends up being better than Tua. Tua was the most overhyped bust in league history. That's what he's gonna go down as because people really had tank for Tua, and look at him now, a bum. So yeah, you just listen to the smartest sports YouTuber on the planet. That's a fact. And I'm out.